Live in 3, 2, go.
Good morning, world. This is your daily huddle. It's Friday, and today's the day we have conversations about leadership and business. And today I have a phenomenal guest who's no stranger to the world of business and no stranger to the world of being human and what it takes to actually transform what is your humanity so that you can be the most effective business owner you can be. And in honor of her smile, Andrea, I have a joke for you. A question, actually. Andrea, what's the longest word in the dictionary?
What was that? Can you repeat that?
What is the longest word in the dictionary?
I have no idea.
You have no idea. It's on your face. It is smile, because there's a mile between the two S's.
Nice. Nice.
See, I warned you, Shelly. It wasn't going to be funny, but it would be cute. Well, here we are. There is such a thing as being in life and being stuck in your memories, whether they're your memories of the past or the memories you're generating now of a future that's not even here yet. So to get us present, the Daily Huddle hosts ask these questions. They may sound silly to you, but this morning, I'm inviting you to be with these questions in a new way. Like literally, after I ask them and we answer, I want you to check it out in your own life. So Stan, good morning, sir.
Good morning. Good morning, my brother. Good morning, family.
Stan, what time is it?
Wow, you know what? I don't even have my watch on, Sorrel, but you know what? I know the time is now. The only time there is.
The time is now. Now check it out in your life, though. Is it really now?
It's really now.
Yeah, it is. Thank you, Stan, and welcome to the Daily Huddle. Andrea, where are you and who are you going to hug today?
I am right where I need to be, Sorrel, which is right here. And I'm going to hug myself today all day long.
You know, one of these days I'm going to be you and I'm going to come to your place.
And you're going to hug yourself. And it'll be her.
Good morning, Andrea. Good morning. Gio, it's great to see you here, brother. Can you go up here and tell me, how are you and what are you grateful for?
Okay. How am I? Today, I am the way I say I am. And I say I am extrovert.
You are an extrovert, indeed. You are. And what are you grateful for?
Today, I am grateful for hardwood floors.
Ah, are you doing that thing that people do in the hardwood floor commercial, like lying on it right now and doing the angel?
And dancing? Yes.
There you go. Welcome to this morning, Gio. I love you, brother. Thank you for having co-founded this space with me. And it is now time for me to give you a taste of who our guest is today. Her name is Dr. Schellie Fanfan. And Schellie is from my home country. She's a fellow Haitian. Shelley's a Haitian American female, born in Manhattan. We will not hold that against her. Raised in Queens Village, New York. She's the daughter of 2 strong parents. And believe me, when she opens her mouth in a little bit, you will hear those strong parents coming through her with the values that instilled in her, like honesty ambition, kindness, family first, and spiritual centeredness. Ms. Fanfan is the proud mother of Etana, 20 years old. I know she's got a daughter that's her age. How about that? And Philippe, 18 years of age. She earned a bachelor's degree in psychology from the University of Central Florida, in addition to 2 master's degrees from Florida State University in mental health counseling and human services systems. Now, I could spew on and tell you a whole bunch more about Dr. Schellie, and I'm going to give her the opportunity to stand in her purpose, which is to motivate and encourage others to experience total life prosperity by applying practical principles that cause people to live in their smiles. And today's question is, are you living in your smile? Dr. Schellie Fanfan, it's so great to have you here. Welcome to the Daily Huddle.
Thank you so much for having me. It is a privilege. I am humbled to be here. Hello, everybody. Are you living in your smiles? Yes, everyone's nodding yes. Oh my gosh. I don't know if you asked me that question, but I'm going to just start off by saying I am absolutely living in my smile after years of mastering the art of mask wearing, living and being brought up in a Haitian household where image consciousness really ruled and guided the way that we responded to other people. And so learning how to live in my smile and to truly be authentic with where I am at in my emotions and who I am, embracing my imperfections, celebrating my strengths. So yes, I am living in my smile.
I got that. Now, there is you saying that and you actually peeling the onion and giving us a sense of what it's like to live in your smile. But before you go there, Schellie, you talked about your parents and the household you were brought in. Give people a sense of where you've come from and what's brought you to this place. And when I say this place, it is precisely the commitment and the stand that you are in the world. So a short journey, if you will.
Boy. Yeah, I'm happy you said short because I was going to say, do we have 8 words? I was actually born in this country and first generation Haitian American. My parents worked very, very hard to give my sister and I a really good life. We were brought up in a very strict Catholic home, went to a Catholic school, and you don't look at, you don't look at adults in the eye. You speak French to adults and you try to be as formal as possible. We weren't allowed to have friends. We were brought up to be very distrusting of people who were not family. And so our friends were our cousins, our siblings. And so when I branched out into the real world and went to college, I had a lot of ignorance because of being brought up in such a sheltered home. We were brought up with a really, really strong work ethic where if you're bored, go read a book. I never had any games. I didn't have Atari like everybody else did. You bored, go read a book. So I read a lot, spent a lot of time reading. B's were not acceptable in my home. It was A's and that was it. And so I was brought up with that really strong work ethic, performance-based parenting. We show love and affection when you do something great. And so that really caused me to operate in this high level of perfectionism, which is like a curse of the soul, where nothing is perfect enough. You're always striving for perfection, which is unattainable. And so I got to a point in my life where I wanted to just break free of all that, because I knew there was greatness on the inside of me, but it was stifled by this perfectionism and having to be perfect. And I wasn't really allowing my gifts to really flow the way that God created them to flow. And so I started a journey years ago, I want to say about a decade ago, of self-discovery, and I found myself, I found my strengths, I found my freedom, and I found my smile. And that just caused me to be even more effective as an entrepreneur after that self-disclosure and that self-discovery. I was an entrepreneur, a successful entrepreneur before that, but I wasn't a successful and happy and fulfilled entrepreneur, right? Because you can be functional but not healed. Let me say that again. You could be functional but not healed.
So pause for a moment. Don't lose your train of thought, okay? So there is the life that you inherited, so to speak.
Yeah.
If you were to pick just 3 words to speak of the Shellie before the self-discovery, what 3 words would you use? Like the 3 words that, you know, say who that person that your mother and your father and your cousins brought up, so to speak. What are those 3 words?
Hardworking.
Uh-huh.
Gifted. Empty.
Empty. Wow. I didn't expect that one. Now, you got to this place where you said, okay, I've got to break free. If I'm going to be an entrepreneur that's beyond functioning, but living a fulfilled and happy life with a genuine smile on my face, I need to discover something. I need to cause a breakthrough for myself.
Right.
So 3 words for the Shellie post-breakthrough.
Fulfilled, high performing, inspiring. Because we can't bring people to destinations we have not yet arrived.
I totally get that. So now there's another short journey, right? So there's a short journey you took to tell us about the Shellie that your parents birthed and raised. Bien élevé, bah oui?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
Right?
They did a great job. They did the best that they could.
Yes, they did.
Yes.
And they always do not just the best that they could, they actually did it perfectly. They did it the way they did it. And here you are. So given that, tell us about the discovery journey. If you were to take the entrepreneurs listening to us right now through what I call the required, necessary, indispensable journey of discovering one's already always self in order to break free and be fully expressed as an entrepreneur who's living in your soul. What was that journey for you?
It starts out with awareness, because a lot of the time as high achievers, we normalize abnormalities. We normalize abnormalities. So we normalize not getting 8 hours of uninterrupted rest. We normalize the fact that our thoughts, we just can't turn our thoughts off. We normalize our relationship dysfunctions. We normalize this drive that we have on the inside that we can't calm down. We normalize things that are abnormalities. It's not normal to not be able to decompress.
Yeah.
There's an issue. There's a reason why you're not able to decompress. And that reason most of the time is anxiety. We normalize depression. We normalize that competitiveness and not ever achieving fulfillment in anything. And I had to get to a place where I was aware that there is something wrong with this. There is something wrong with not always achieving and always feeling like I'm not satisfied and I'm going for the next level. There's something wrong with not keeping and making commitments that you make to yourself. There's something wrong with being able to go across town to meet a commitment that you made to someone else, but not make promises that you kept, that you make to yourself. I was not fulfilled. I had imposter syndrome. Everything that I did was performance-based. I felt fulfilled when I was performing, but I didn't have the same acceptance when things didn't go my way. And we have to be able to be resilient, self-loving, and self-accepting, even when the outcome is not what we expected.
Yeah. So tell me this, right? I'm rewinding just a bit to
Right.
either paraphrase or repeat what you said. We normalize abnormalities.
Correct.
So that epiphany for you triggered your own awareness to say that I'm normalizing abnormalities doesn't work.
Absolutely.
And I no longer will tolerate that. Now, people like you and I and others normalize abnormalities for years, right?
Years.
Decades. So I'm wondering how for you insurmountable was the mountain of actually giving up normalizing abnormalities, because in a way I'm thinking it's an addiction of sorts.
Yeah.
What was that like for you, giving up being someone addicted to normalizing abnormalities?
So we can either deal with it voluntary and say, you know what, I'm going to make these changes in my life. I don't know how to do it, but I'm going to connect with people that can. So you could do it voluntary, or you could do it involuntary, because it's going to happen. The catalyst will come. And for me, it was involuntary. And I'm going to tell you what happened. I broke night like I usually do when I'm about to speak. You know, I was running 3 community mental health centers at the time, thriving, all 3. I had about 60 therapists working under me. I was living the dream, but I wasn't happy. I was preparing for a conference. I was going to speak at a leadership conference. I had broken night. And so I just, something that I did all the time, right? Just operating in sleep debt. You can't be at peak performance when you have this big sleep debt that you owe your body. But that was me, always in sleep debt. I took about a 15-minute nap and I got up. And when I went to the edge of my bed to pick up a suitcase that I was going to pack to head out to the conference, I felt like a knife like stabbed me in the back, and I stood up and I went to cry out for my daughter, but I couldn't find the air to do so. And that same knife stabbed me in my chest. I was literally experiencing like chest pains and this piercing stabbing in my chest and my back. And I sat down. I waited for the pain to subside. And when the pain subsided, I drove to the conference. I presented for 4 hours with those chest pains. And my next memory was in an ambulance. And I remember hearing the EMT say, you know, African American woman, 30 years old, possible heart attack. And just like that, everything that meant so much to me for so many years meant absolutely nothing. And the things that I most neglected, my family, my spirituality, my children, meant so much to me. And I made a promise to myself that day that I was no longer going to continue to live that way. And I dissolved all 3 community mental health centers. My business partner and I were in agreement. I started my individual practice as Schellie Consulting, teaching corporations and other high achievers how to live in their smiles. But before I launched that, I went through a period of sitting. Because as high achievers, we tend to be the strongest in the room. We tend to be the problem solvers. We tend to pour out. And I allowed high achieving boss women to just pour into me for a season. And that's when the self-discovery started. It was involuntary for me. And I made that involuntary decision become a voluntary decision to change my life and not just be a high achieving manager. I wanted to be a high performing leader. Because we can be great entrepreneurs, but are you a high performing leader? Because high performing leader inspire others to be great. Leadership is not necessarily about what we do. Leadership is about what happens in others when we do what we do and when we do what we do right. But we can't do that without self-care. and really tapping into those injuries that just lie unresolved and keep us from being the greatest versions of ourselves.
Wow. So before we open it up for questions and answers, I'm going to ask you to go off mute and answer the question, what is it to live in your smile? 3 sentences.
It is about being free. It's about being authentically you. It's about giving the world the gifts on the inside of you, because that's what we owe the world. We owe the world to be us, just the way that we are. Just the way that we are. Have you ever heard that statement? You don't owe anybody but to love them? Or you don't owe anyone but to, I don't know what that statement is. And that is not true. You owe me the book. You owe me that song. You owe me the poetry. You owe me your ideas. You owe me those talents and those abilities. And that's what causes us to be authentically us and to accept ourselves just the way that we are, imperfections and all. I recognize my imperfections. I work on self-development, but I also celebrate my strengths even the more. And before my self-discovery, all I did was mourn and work to try to overcompensate the weaknesses. But now I recognize it. I do what I need to do for self-development, but I spend more time celebrating my strengths.
Let us celebrate our strengths, and let's give those who are generous enough to be here with us the opportunity to tap into your strength with their questions and comments. Comments and questions.
Good morning, everyone. This is
Good
Rashida.
morning, Rashida.
Blessings to you, my dear sister. Thank you so much for reinforcing what I left behind 2.5 months ago. When I went to the doctor said, if you don't stand up and walk away from what you are going through, one morning someone will get you out of bed, but it's not going to be you. So trust me, when you really emphasize that lack of sleep, and that, okay, at least for me, lack of sleep and lack of consciousness, have self-love, it's really hard to let you stand up one morning and say, go, I am taking care of me, myself, and I. And why I say that is because in 2.5 months ago, my stress level was out the chart. And the doctor says, what you want to do with yourself? And I says, I'm going to save me. I'm going to save myself out of this thing. And trust me, my stress level was so bad that I weigh almost 200 pounds. And today, the 28th of July, I weigh 155 pounds because I took matters in my own hand. So when you are emphasizing what you emphasize and the lesson that you are teaching people, trust me, if we would just stop and listen and follow through and start falling in love with ourselves once, twice, and 3 times, we will be such a powerhouse for other people. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, sister. I really appreciate you being here. And this, I'm taking and run with it and share with other people. Thank you very much and enjoy the rest of your day. Thanks.
God bless you, sister. You know, I hear people all the time say, well, this is just for now. Like, I'm doing this just for now. I'm breaking night. I'm doing this. I'm working 4 or 5 jobs. I'm doing this. It's neglecting yourself should never be seasonal. It's never okay to neglect what you need. It's never okay. We have a responsibility to assure that we are operating at our highest frequency, peak performance. And we are not able to achieve that if we're not tapping in to our wellness.
Mm.
And making sure that we address our emotional injury. Our body keeps the score. Our body keeps the score of our injuries, those painful memories, those experiences, that miscarriage, that divorce. It is time for us to take the time to process those things and set ourselves free. The fact that you don't remember them or you don't tap into them doesn't mean that you're not emotionally reacting to it on the inside.
Mm. Thank you for that, Rashida. Thank you, Shellie. Stan?
Shellie, thank you so very, very much for sharing your life, sharing your experience with us. You know, I've heard it said so many times, the metaphor, you know, life is a marathon. But I think what hearing you express yourself about makes me realize that maybe we ought to take it in sprints and take time between those sprints to really evaluate our life, because we can run so fast and so hard that we run past the things in life that are important. Thank you so much for that.
Drop the mic right there. That was awesome. That was awesome.
Is. You know, Shellie, I want to acknowledge the comments as your contribution. You know, you talked about leaders being the kinds of people who inspire others to lead and speak in a way that they're speaking and the words they utter make a difference in the lives of others. So that's what you breed around you. And I'm so grateful for that. So we're 3 minutes away from the end mark. I want to not encourage. I'm extending to each of you listening, wherever you are, whether you are free on August 12th or not, whether you live in Atlanta or not, drop everything you're doing now and go to thedailyhuddleevent.com and purchase a ticket to spend a day with the hosts and the friends of the Daily Huddle. We're going to be together from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. on Saturday, the 12th of August, to give you a whole day of what you got from Dr. Schellie Fanfan this morning. And I can't not think of any better place for me or you to be together, to shake hands, to high five, to hug, to celebrate the leader in you, and to bring that leader out and to have your leadership be expressed in the world in a way that makes the difference that maybe you're not willing to surrender to now. So come join us on August 12th, just a couple of weeks away, thedailyhuddleevent.com. And I'm looking forward to seeing you. Dr. Schellie, would you please say 3 more sentences and say them as if they were the last sentences you would get to say?
You are fully resourced to do everything that you set out to achieve. There is absolutely no competition in your lane. Purpose is not something that you look for. It's something that you dig for. It's there, planted right on the inside of you. Go get it. Go for it.
Get it.
All that you have, just go get it.
The light is right there shining inside of you. Be still for a moment, and you might get a glimmer of it.
Mm.
And when you do, run to it and embrace it. Dr. Schellie Fanfan, I love you. Sister, I'm blessed by your presence here. And I'm extending the invitation for you to be on the Daily Huddle whenever you'd like.
Absolutely. It would be my pleasure. It would be
Awesome.
my pleasure, my privilege.
So let's close out today. But guess what? This is only a short goodbye. For on Monday morning, Kim and Zach Odie will be here for Money Mondays. So the Daily Huddle is here for you and for the world every day of the week. Thank you for being here. Thank you for providing the generous listening that makes the Daily Huddle what it is. So we close like this. Love. It's inside of you. Express it. Stress less. Laugh out loud. Eat mostly plant-based. Your body what your body needs and go to sleep for God's sake. And when you wake up, move your body. And as you're moving, give. Give and love. And when in doubt, check your assumptions. For when you don't, you might run into them. And sometimes that hurts. This is your Daily Huddle. Have a fantastic weekend. Dr. Fanfan, thank you for being here. And everyone, thank you for being here. Your participation made all the difference.
Thank you so much.
One love, guys. One love. Have a
Bye.